Okay, now our next, actually our last performers are Jon Jang and Flores, and they can perform in collaboration. It's called Never Again. So they can do poetry and performance, and Jon Jang with Flores.
Wow, we're starting on time. We're going to open with Alishan Woman by Huang Yodi, a very popular Taiwanese song.
My name's Flores. Thank you for inviting me here, John and Vinay and all the folks. This is my first time performing in Chinatown, and I am very grateful to be here with you today. So I'm a spoken word poet from the Mission District of San Francisco, and we're here to bring love, appreciation, respect, solidarity. And that's what my work is about. Most of it based on the Latino community and immigrant rights. But I'm also a San Franciscan. So this is a piece called We Still Be, celebrating the people who fight for this city, keep it safe, make families, good opportunities. And for the people who have been pushed out of their homes, we want them to come back. We still be. My empire of fog-crowned hills, through webs of electric muni lines, that tang of Phil's roasted coffee grinds, scorched breath of San Francisco poets amidst passion of Juana Alicia, Roberto Vargas, Juan Felipe Herrera, legacy of Ginsberg, Kaufman, Diana Prima, dedication to its exotics, its unions, its gangsta politics, where a dancer can steal your heart and hold it for ransom at a gallery called Crucible Steel. This muse, more than just obsession, more like a blood oath to embrace Carnaval, where even the most straight-laced will cross-dress for the sake of adventure. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. My homie's house burned down. My homie's house burned down, and we read poetry in the ashes. We raised his spirits with bottles of tequila and coronas, salted tears to quench harsh throats. We told jokes, and Marcus played hard bebop. My homie wailed for his dog, lost in the smoke of a broken pilot light-induced inferno. The poetry heals and the bebop revives. The poetry heals and the bebop revives. We never go softly into that dark night. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. They say blacks and Mexicans don't belong anymore. Can't afford to raise a family in a decent-sized home anymore. But Muni drivers are black, and Latino teachers got white kids speaking Spanish, at least until Chicano becomes a four-letter word. If you peel the flyers back from the telephone poles, you'll find broadsides. You'll find broadsides protesting gentrification of the Guayabera. 1921, 21 19-year-olds, my broadsides were bilingual when it was illegal. You don't know how to stop this flow. A poetry evangelist with contraband Mexican cigarettes by the pound. Yo soy delicado. Yo soy delicado, and we liberated public space con queso. El tambor y el chequere con bass and saxophone, with Jimmy Biala and Howard Wiley, with Marcus Shelby and Jenny Lim, with Rodessa Jones. We took Manigudo to the two shade, we made Relámpago Negro. That's Black Lightning. Enrique Quique Padilla. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. This is San Francisco's heartbeat. Everybody want to know. Everybody always ask me, what's so good about San Francisco? It's the poets. It's the poets. It's the poets. It's the crazy, drunk, loud-ass poets from the Mission, from Chinatown, from North Beach, from Hunters Point, from Bayview. See, I wasn't born here, but I ain't no tourist. I wasn't born here and I ain't no tourist, and I know my way around. Broke so many hearts, but keep coming back for more. We speak easy at Bruno's in the corner of the bar. Her style is Latin swing with strapless dress and high heels. She brown skin, so beautiful. Want her to wear my ring. Represent a swagger with mestizo babies in a sling. We jazz fest in North Beach with tapas on the grass. We festival in Stern Grove. We carnival, we Baker Beach. Our baby's growing so fast. And we like to show them off on Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, Google. The Bay Area got them all. San Francisco is our heart. Many come to claim her throne. Many move to Oakland. Home is where I'm loved the most. So rise, San Francisco, like trolley train over Pacific Heights. We look to you for inspiration when life is about struggle. You make it possible to desire something different. You make it possible to believe because we still believe. Because we still believe. Because we still believe. Yeah, we still believe. Yeah, we still believe. Yeah, we still believe because we still be. We still be. We still be. We still be the heartbeats of San Francisco. This is the first time me and John ever played together, so we had a set up, but I'm changing it because that was a real big high emotion one, and I actually want to get a little more serious because I don't want to lose y'all. Let me just do this one piece. One of the things that John and I are collaborating on are on the intersection of Latino and Asian families that are oppressed by immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, and how our communities have been interned, have been the victims of racism, and how do we overlap with some of our historical experiences. So today, I'm going to share this poem called 700 Days in an Immigrant Prison. This is about the internment of immigrant families and how children are in prisons with their parents. And these aren't just camps, these are real prisons that families are being held in by the United States government, immigrant families. This poem is dedicated to a mother and her son who were held for 700 days in an immigrant cell. And anyway, we lost the mic. Let's switch. Let me have this one. So again, this piece is dedicated to a family, a mother and a child, 2 years old, spent 2 years in an immigrant prison in Berks, Pennsylvania. And it's brand new, so I don't know it off my head. ICE put Lorena and her 2-year-old son, Gabriel, in an immigrant detention prison for 700 days, 22 months. The little boy's memory actually began while locked up playing ball with his other toddler inmates at Berks Family Prison in Pennsylvania. ICE put Lorena and her 2-year-old son, Gabriel, in an immigrant detention prison for 22 months, 700 days. At the end, the federal judge asked the prosecutor, "What is a 4-year-old child doing in prison for 700 days?" The federal prosecutor could not respond. Lorena and Gabriel came from Honduras. She crossed the border with her child to seek asylum from domestic violence. She did not steal. She did not murder. She did not run from the authorities. Still, ICE put Lorena and her 4-year-old son, Gabriel, in an immigrant prison for 700 days. Today, 111 immigrant children are still held behind bars, most of them under 5 years old, for extra long stays. But what is a 4-year-old child doing in an immigrant prison for 700 days? In Berks Family Prison, there's no school. Guards teach children to speak English with "shut up and be quiet." Lorena asked her lawyer, what does that mean? Cállate, shut up, cállate, shut up, cállate, shut up, be quiet. Children being too loud in prison, playing games. It's too much for guards to learn how to say a Spanish phrase. So shut up and be quiet will be the lesson for today. What is a 4-year-old child doing in an immigrant prison for 700 days? People donated $25 million GoFundMe to build a wall at the Mexican border. Steve Bannon took that money and went on vacation. They spent $14 billion on an election, but they said it was fraud. It was President Obama and Biden built those cages where immigrant children slept on the floor, an aluminum blanket and 2 sandwiches a day. I thought people elected Joe Biden because they said they wanted change. What is a 4-year-old child doing in prison for 400 days? They deported Gabrielle's 4-year-old friends from Burke's family prison. They lost the parents of over 600 children and forced them into the foster system. This is where my tax money goes. When the judge saw 4-year-old Gabrielle after 700 days, he finally let them go live with a sponsor while their asylum is decided. ICE put a GPS collar on Lorena's ankle, let her free of Burke's family prison in Pennsylvania. Freedom by any means, freedom by any ways, and whoever pays. I'm sending my tax return to the Shutdown Burke's Coalition, because what is a child doing in prison? What is a 4-year-old child doing in prison? What is a 4-year-old child doing in prison for 400 days? Thank you. That's to get you not to forget, okay? That is a poem so you don't forget what is happening to children here. Y'all know, but we can forget about it. You know, we can forget that there are kids being held in prison who don't belong there, who could easily be put with a local family member. It's just the immigration system is so messed up, so racist, so anti-human. And we have to fight to shut down and abolish ICE. That's been one of my major things, is to get rid of ICE. Abolish ICE. Okay, this is my last piece. This is a boat. This is a brand new piece also that I'm still working out, and it's called Survival Boat. And this is based on a picture of a hand-carved boat that ended up on the shore of Puerto Rico when the authorities recovered this boat. It became known that this was a hand-carved boat that folks used to sail from Dominican Republic to land on Puerto Rico to basically cross the border, to go from the Dominican Republic to the United States. They used these hand-carved boats, very crudely but beautifully carved at the same time, to basically canoe from one island, from one country to Puerto Rico to the United States. So this is about this boat called Survival Boat, based on a picture a friend of mine took. His name is Moses Slavatiski, goes by Maui Moses. Ready? Okay. Give it up for Jon Jang. He's been amazing. Look at this. We didn't rehearse any of this. He's just like, all right, Paul, I'm gonna do this. Woo. Hey. This is a work in progress. This is the hull of a boat. From what was once the tree trunk, now beached on sand, before a cobalt blue wall in San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is the texture of human labor, like scales of a wooden whale, an immigrant dream with sharp angles, carved with handheld chisel to assure delivery of promises to family. This is arrival by sea. This is the tradition of Taínos who canoed between Cuba, Haiti, Puerto Rico, y la República Dominicana before Columbus arrived. This was after that. This is the result of that landing. Descendants of indigenous people striving to build a home for their families with nature, safety, and dignity across borders. The people who carved this boat left the Dominican Republic against state policies and landed on Puerto Rico, their own ancestral lands, in search of abundance. This is Native American culture. No human being is illegal. No papers, no blood quantum will deny our relations reunifying, rebuilding. This is hope we will win. This is an investment in our future. This is a 700-year-old family heirloom. This is a boat proving the value of indigenous people should never be forgotten nor taken for granted. This is a boat. Woo! I like that little bum. That was really dope. We're done. We're good. I'm done. We're good. We're good. Thank you, everybody.